Okay, looks like we're live. So this is the first Google Hangout for the month, and this is just going to be a live stream event. What with the need to reschedule, I don't see anyone presently watching in real time. That's okay. You can watch the archive later. The video will be available on YouTube. Also, not the link to the class. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're going, well, yeah, I'm watching it because you sent me a link to the YouTube video. But here we are. I have done a few tests, and as best I can tell, you will not be getting any of the sound when I live stream Papers, Please, Lucas Pope's game. There's a way to do that, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. The live streaming of games is a new wrinkle that I've added. So we'll see how it goes. Now, I think I've turned on the Q&A app. I may have to enable it actually on the page. No. Okay, well that was just a silly sound-delayed video of myself speaking. So, I don't know if the Q&A app is going to work. I've had problems with that before. But if you post comments on the live stream page on Google Hangouts, I will see them and I will answer them when I can. First part of tonight's live stream, we're going to play around with Papers, Please, and consider not only how it works as a game, but the way it builds world and invites the player to imagine additional narrative beyond what it provides. Something I sometimes refer to as processual narrative or emergent narrative. This is distinctly different from procedural development of narrative or anything else. Procedural is when a game has random elements that create part of the game for you. That's what the game does. When the player, as a result of procedural or linear or choice-driven content, has a chance to create story and is invited to create story beyond that explicitly presented in the game, that's where emergent narrative or processual narrative appears. So I'm going to start the screen share. And we're going to load up Papers, Please here. Assuming that Steam cooperates. So, I assume that all of you can see the Papers, Please logo scrolling up on the screen, but none of you can hear the game's music. We'll find out after this archive goes live. The music is kind of heavy and oppressive in time with the dot matrix printer-like scrolling. Start a new game here. I played the demo of this game quite a bit, but only just got the full version. So the game sets you as a regular person in the kind of dystopian and totalitarian nation of Arostroikiev. Might be mispronouncing that. It's a fictional nation. I can mispronounce it. And you've just received a letter. Congratulations, it says. The October labor lottery is complete. Your name was pulled. For immediate placement, report to the Ministry of Admission at Greston Border Checkpoint. An apartment will be provided for you and your family in East Greston. Expect a Class 8 dwelling. I have no idea what a Class 8 dwelling is, but the idea that you are there with your family is very important, especially to the emergent narrative of the game. So, Arstotska, I guess. Glory to Arstotska. There's the newspaper, the unassumingly titled "The Truth of Arstotzka." Grestin border checkpoint opens at last. After 6 long years, can the Ministry of Admission keep us safe? Families to reunite. Let's walk to work. Here you are walking into the booth. That's all the cue it gives you. Here are the people queued up outside, and here's the guard coming. There's no 3D animation in this game. You do not walk from your apartment to work and back. And at the moment, the clock has not yet started. So we can take a little time here to read our official bulletin. Arstotzka Ministry of Admission official bulletin. Inspector, welcome to your new position at Grestin border checkpoint. Stamp passport entry visa and return documents to entrant. Entry is restricted to Arstotzkan citizens only. Deny all foreigners. Glory to Arstotzka. Pay attention to the passport's nationality. A symbol on the front. There's where Arstotzka appears on the passports. Here are the controls. Here's the shutter. This is the counter in your little cubicle-like environment. Rulebook, this is important. Among other things, it keeps track of what rules you're currently playing with. These will increase in number as you play. Gives you a map of the region. And in addition to the nations of the region being listed on the map, you also can find in this manual some information you need to play, what the passports of the different nations look like. Here's the Arstotzkan passport, including what districts and issuing cities exist in the. So, if a city is listed in a passport and it's not actually an issuing city for passports for that nation, then the passport itself is not valid. That's one of the first rules. Slide that back into place. Here's where you can obtain an audio transcript of whatever people have said to you. So it just slides back and forth. There's the time and date. Oh yes, and let's make sure there's nothing else of importance here. Right, there's the news. There's you can put your bulletin. Keep it out of your way. Let's start welcoming people. Next, who's our first person today? Papers, please. Finally, I can return home. Well, let's see. Arstotzka, that looks good. Pull out our book here. Yeah, okay. Paradzina is an issuing locality in Arstotzka. Approved. You may go on your way. Glory to Arstotzka. Thank you. Call for the next person. Checkpoint is smaller than I expected. Well, you know what? I can just looking at this passport. It's not Arstotzka. It doesn't say Arstotzka right there. So we're going to deny you. You have to get those stamps roughly lined up, but they're close. You won't get in trouble. Next. I've waited in this damn line for 8 hours. I hope it was worth it. Well, it certainly won't be, because you're not Arstotzkan, and I've got a family to take care of. And we will go to hell, he says. Well, who's next? All these dang non-Arstotzkans. It's a mistake to open this checkpoint. Okay. Next. Ah, there we go. Orvik, Monor, that's a city that issues passports in Arstotzka. Oh. Got time for at least one or two more people. I'm pretty good at this job, for now. Day's almost over. Oh, you are not from Arstotzka. Go away. Arstotzkans only. Got about maybe one more person before there's the buzzer. Okay. Well, Cameron, you are denied. What happens if I approve this person? Let's find out. I shouldn't be approving this person. I'm going to anyway. Cause no trouble, I say. Cause trouble for me. Oh, I've been cited. MOA citation. Protocol violated. No entry fee from... Yep, so... So here's my expenses for the first day on the job. Yes. So my savings is 30. My salary was 45, which was pretty dang good, actually. Here's my family. My wife, son, mother-in-law, and uncle are all okay. I have to pay rent. I can choose not to buy food, and they'll all start to starve. And if I don't pay my heating bill, we'll all freeze. Let's pay for everything. This may not be an option later on. Now let's see. Grestin checkpoint a success. Entry restrictions to relax, admit foreigners. This is the first time things get a little bit more difficult. Analysts upbeat. Increased trade and cooperation predicted. Let's walk to work. Here I am. Think about how much time and resources are saved in a game like this with the minimalist look. You can also think about what the costs are. Is there a decrease in immersion? Perhaps. There's also a high degree of stylization of the art, which increases the feel of being trapped in this space. Let's see what our bulletin tells us to do for today. From today, foreigners with a valid passport are permitted to enter. With inspection hardware is now installed. Highlight. Check all passport information carefully for discrepancies. Deny any entrance with inconsistent information. Continue. Enter inspect mode using the red button. While inspecting, highlight two pieces of discrepant information for further options. Rules and regulations. This post is bound by the Ministry of Admission rules and regulations. So the rule book closely. Go to Arstotzka. Something doesn't match, you can highlight two pieces that don't match. And then you can interrogate the person. Little microphone here. There's our, okay. Let's put the bulletin away. Cluttering up the space. Before we start the day, again, time has not started yet. One advantage of a highly structured game like this is that right now, as opposed to everything proceeding in real time, the game is waiting for me to be ready to begin the next challenge. This is something, by the way, that almost all games that are set in real time actually do, because it can be incredibly difficult and frustrating for the player if every challenge in a game is completely independent of the player's activity. The player is the one that all game challenges center on, even when the player's character is not the protagonist of the game. And good game design often takes into account, usually takes into account, that things need to be arranged to for the player's convenience to a degree. Sometimes, as a very nearly experimental feature of a game, games do not bend too much to the player's convenience, and that creates a certain specific set of challenges. This is something that has to be thought through very carefully to avoid breaking game narrative or creating game challenges that the player will inevitably fail. The idea of a world that is living and breathing in full real time is in many ways appealing, but it's not always a good way. In fact, I would say it's generally not a good way to present game narrative or gameplay challenges. So, okay, rules are still pretty simple. You must have a passport. Documents need to be current. Well, what's the date? It's 1982, November 24th. So, if anything's expired, I have to reject them. And if anything doesn't match, I have to reject the person. Like if they have a passport that does not match the issuing city. Okay, let's see. Okay, that looks valid. Their date is correct. Okay, that's what's his name? Integria. 11/14th. Oops, this already expired. Okay, this looks good. Wait a minute. 84. Okay, that looks correct. Said hurry up, I am meeting bus soon. Okay. Oops. Oh, I didn't check. Well, that's an interesting. Hello, handsome, you look bored. If you want a good time, come see us. Really? Oh. Well, the pink vice. East Creston for all your fantasies. Okay, well then. Looks like her passport's valid. Just pass her through. I'll be around a couple months. Don't forget to visit. Married man. Can I just get rid of this somewhere? No? Oh, I can leave it there. Oh, I haven't seen one of these before. Federation. Wait a minute, Corey's the city. Okay. Oh my, what did he just leapt over the barrier. You know what? Because I'm just a clerk, I can't do anything about it. Shooting at him. And he's lobbing up. Is that a grenade? Is that a multi? Oh crap. Well, I guess today ends a little early. The day was cut short by a terrorist attack. Progress is saved at the start of each day. So there's my savings and my salary. Rent, food, and heat. Ooh. That takes me down to nothing. And that's my salary plus my savings. Maybe keep a little bit of money in the bank. Let's eat but not heat the house. And yes, When something like that happens, you are powerless, because in this game, you are a clerk. You are not a commando. Terrorists strike at Greston. Collection agitators suspected. Checkpoint lockdown. More guards, more scrutiny. Let's walk to work. Here we go. Okay. So we had one guard before. We got a lot of guards now. Entry for non-citizens is now regulated. All foreigners require a valid entry ticket. Verify information before stamping passport. Entry visa, enriching all documents to entrant. Documents be correlated by highlighting counter and pertinent entry in rulebook. Okay, so that was something I didn't do for the person I rejected earlier. I did not inspect. I might have received bonus if I'd done that. I'm not sure. Okay, put this away. So it's Integria, Astroka, Impor. Wait. Kolechia, Obristan, Republic, and the United Federation. Ticket 5, okay. You can present a ticket, so yeah, everything looks valid. Just take it back. Your documents ready, please. Seriously? It's going to be part of the plot, perhaps? Go, just go. Pink Vice, ask for Ava. I'm a married man in this game. Okay. Wait a minute. Sunkado. Oh, so there we go. You're not getting in, buddy. I heard about Ted. I have a job still. What, are you blaming me? Seems to be in order. Just go and get out of here. Entry is not guaranteed. No, it is not. Federation, Grand Rapid. Okay, that all looks to be in order. Wait a minute. Oh, that already expired. No, wait, valid on. Your mistake. I'm denying you. That looks to be all in order. You may go. Note the way that have your documents ready. Oops, what? Non-matching photo? Really? Well, I guess I wasn't looking close enough. Here we go. Gloria Stroka, the greatest country. Oh, okay. Inspect mode to interrogate. No papers. Wait, no correlation. Okay. So, inspect. He doesn't have a passport. Well, I'm confused what I was supposed to do there. Inspect mode to interrogate. Oh, page 2 of today's bulletin. Okay. So let's see. What was I missing? Everyone else has gone home. This is the last person of the day. Missing documents can be correlated by how that encounter and the pertinent entering the... Oh, the count. Okay, so here's what I did wrong, everybody. I have to inspect the counter. There's your discrepancy. Passport's required, buddy. Come back again. Okay, go. You can get paid for that. Well, let's see what state my family's in. We're all cold. Even not paying for heat. Well, let's pay for the heat this time, not buy any food. Okay. I don't think I'm going to last much longer here. Checkpoint expansion postponed. Galactic activity explodes. Government claims lax immigration controls. That's going to affect me. Inspector, stricter credential requirements have been issued. Airstrokes citizens must show their ID card. Foreigners must secure and present a valid entry permit. Entry tickets are no longer sufficient. So now I have an entry permit instead of an entry ticket or an ID card. A new chapter detailing document features has been added to your rulebook. Deny any discrepant documents. For the audio transcript, correlate entrance. Lord Arstrotska. So I guess if someone doesn't have an ID card or an entry permit, I had that in the bulletin. ID card. There are all the ID cards. Valid symbols. Okay. Entry permits. Now, here's part of what's going on with this game. You've got a standard time pressure game. This might as well be Diner Dash, except that the very setup of the game creates this gloomy, restricted atmosphere, and the stakes are the health and well-being not just of the player's character, but of an entire family we never see, but whose status is displayed at the end of every day. Your task is to go through these increasingly challenging kind of Simon Says-esque, or actually more like Simon, the electronic game where you had to match the pattern every time, series of checks, but you get paid based on the number of people you process, so the faster you do it, the better. So do you cut corners? Cutting corners will help you get more people processed and can give you enough pay to actually feed your family. On the other hand, if you cut corners, you will start to make mistakes and you'll be cited for it, and that could destroy you and your entire family. Let's see how I can do this time around. Paper sleeves came to work. Duration of stay, 90 days. Work 3 months. West Preston. Looks good to me. Find out shortly if I missed anything. Entry's not guaranteed. Next. Job, a couple days. 2 more. Well, there's a discrepancy for you. Well, okay. Otherwise, this seems valid. Oops. Visitation response. Okay, I guess I... Well, this person has a ticket. Okay, it says... it seems to be letting me highlight that. Well, I know what I need to do, so... Ticket is not enough anymore. So Get a permit. Bullshit. Well, company for ticket. Well, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Transitions into elsewhere. Okay. 14 days. That's correct. Sergey. Singleton. Okay. What did I decide for? Invalid expiration date. Last warning. Oof. Okay. I don't see anything wrong with this. We'll see. This might be my last Sunenko. That sounds right. Yeah. What did I get? Enter print invalid expiration. Ugh. I have job here. Okay. 3 months. Work 3 months. Nope. Nope. Okay. Okay. We'll see if I think that's all in order. No? Valid name. Ouch. Come back in a better one. Great. I think that's correct. Let's find out. Do I get cited this time? Transit, a couple of weeks. Okay. See how I did today. We're all hungry, and my son is sick. My son is sick and needs medicine. The rent has gone up. Okay. But if we're all hungry for the medicine, well, I guess we'll feed everybody tonight. We'll try and track star wanted for murder. Vince Lestrade's whereabouts unknown. Has likely fed Republia. Just odd profile. Girlfriend killed in jealous rage. It's a nudity. Okay. So we spent more than half an hour on that. I think that's all we get to play of Papers, Please tonight. Go ahead and toggle this back out of screen share mode for the moment. Oh, hey, someone's actually watching. Let's see if we have any comments. Oh, you do hear it. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, Calvin. You need to have a complete draft of your thesis done, preferably, if at all possible, at the end of next month. That's month 8. Month 9 is editing, where you should be editing a complete thesis. Month 10 and 11 are portfolio, where you'll be revising and improving your thesis to meet requirements. And then month 12 is the business class. You have to have completed and successfully revised to acceptable standards your thesis by the end of month 11 to enter month 12. And month 12 is all about preparing you for the wider world of professional writing. Feel free to post additional questions for me if that to follow up on that. Because it looks like you posted, well, some time ago now. So I guess we're playing the game in full screen mode. I probably should have played it in windowed mode. Okay. Well, Calvin, I'll see if you have any questions for me or if anyone else shows up. Go ahead and close that. This is Inklewriter. Inklewriter is a lot like Twine. Unlike Twine, it is not open source and public. It is a private commercial product. It has a somewhat glossier interface, and it is strictly web-based. There is no applications to install on your computer. Inklewriter has certain advantages, including mainly that it draws heavily on Twine. I don't know if there's any formal acknowledgement of it being based on Twine. There are other tools out there that work in similar ways. But you can write in it. Right here in my untitled story. Let's change that to I can't type worth anything tonight. Okay, Nursery Rhyme's Gone Wrong by Dr. Toph. Add an option. Wait, actually, Okay, so we got Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. And then we can add the next section. And here we have the lamb stalked her, giving her panic attacks and destroying her social life. We can, oops. And then once we have this here, we can join to an existing paragraph, like it followed her to school one day. And we can add options to it followed her to school one day, though it was against the rule. Or another option being filing the school's rules in their restraining order. Let's look at this. Let's read this. We actually go back to the very first one here. So now we're located in the very first passage. If we read this, nursery rhymes gone wrong by Dr. Toph. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Or the lamb stalked her, giving her panic attacks and destroying her social life. Let's choose that one. Mary obtained a restraining order, but the lamb ignored it. It followed her to school one day, because these are linked, that was against the rule, or violating the school's rules and the restraining order. There should be a period there. Unfortunately, I haven't continued that from there. You can see that Inklewriter is prettier than Twine and simpler to use in some ways. It is designed to be as easy to get going with for people with zero programming background as possible. I have considered on some occasions using Inklewriter instead of Twine or offering it as an alternative, but it has some distinct downsides. If you become comfortable with Twine, you can create web pages, playable HTML files that you completely own and can do anything you want with whatsoever, including posting them to your private website, including if you can sell them to someone to be part of their website, etc. With an Inklewriter game, there are a couple things you can do. Let's go to that's Inklewriter. You can create a web page with Inklewriter. That web page, however, will be hosted by Inkle, and they control it. Inkle's a pretty cool company. I like what they do. But you would not have control over it. You would not be able to charge for or restrict access to it. You would not be able to sell it. What you can do is convert your Twine game, your Inklewriter game, into a Kindle ebook that will have branching dialogue or other branching choices. Again, branching dialogue is when there's a conversation. Branching narrative is anytime there are choices in a plot. But if you want to convert your Inkle file, your Inkle game into a Kindle book, they'll charge you $10 for that. Now, that's a $10 flat fee, and then you can charge whatever you want for your story through the Kindle ebook store. Also, Kindle ebooks are not really designed for branching narrative, so if you get really fancy with it, your Kindle ebooks with its branching narrative won't work. You could have a very long story, but if you've got a very complex one with many variables, conditions, loops, etc., it won't convert to a Kindle format file. So those are my reasons for sticking with Twine overall, is that if you get used to Twine and can use it, you have full control and can do whatever you want with the output. With Inklewriter, you owe the Inkle folks $10 if you want to create it, to convert it to a Kindle ebook, and then you're stuck with a Kindle format ebook on Amazon's Kindle store, which is a pretty good marketplace, or at least it's a pretty available marketplace. You have to figure out how to market it within that marketplace, but you can't take it anywhere else. And you can also have as a web page, which you can make available to other people until or unless such time as Inkle, the company, decides to shut down the Inklewriter service or change the terms and conditions. Oh, thank you, Kelvin. I've been doing all of this without screen share on. So you and anyone else has just been watching me talk. Let's turn screen share back on here. Okay. Okay, so this is Inklewriter homepage with information about it, how to get started, uses in education, the Kindle ebook conversion service. This is Inklewriter itself. It's got a very pretty look to it, nice kind of wood desk surface behind. And when you go from writing a story in Inkle to reading it, let's go back to the very beginning here. Let's open this again. Here's my little Nurse Rhymes Gone Wrong story. It presents it very attractively. And the page that it would be presented on would look like this if you were to allow people to access your Inklewriter page as a web Inklewriter game as a web page. And you can see, again, very clean animated transitions, very attractive. And I certainly would not discourage you from using this tool. It just has more limitations because it is owned and controlled by a private company, and they're making it available to you free for two reasons. One, because I think they might be able, well, let's give three reasons. First is because they think there should be more things like this out there. The fact that it's a for-profit company doesn't preclude that. They still have to, however, at least pay for the cost of the web hosting here, so it's reasonable to assume they're hoping to make a profit off of it. One of the ways they can do that is by charging you to convert a story to a Kindle ebook. Also, I like Inkle as a company. They do some really cool games. Inkle's games are gamebook-style games, though their own titles, including the Sorcery series and 80 Days, an adaptation, a kind of steampunk adaptation of Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days, do things well beyond what you can do with Inklewriter. Now, one of the things that they mention on the Inklewriter page, or the homepage for Inklewriter, not within the tool itself, is that they also have licensed their tool for use in designing narrative for other games, including the Banner Saga, which is really quite a remarkable game. I'll give you an idea of what kind of things they do with their own games with this trailer for their game 80 Days. In it, you are in a 80-day journey around the world, and you make decision point, that is branching narrative decisions as you travel, but you're also in a wide range of variably realistic and fanciful settings and using, again, realistic and fanciful conveyances. And as you can see here, you travel even as other players do through a persistent online element in a game that is itself basically single player. Manage inventory, more like a traditional adventure game, and get to track your adventures in an animated graphical manner. Inklewriter itself does support the inclusion of graphics, but nothing on that scale. Like this, for example, is a screenshot of the game. Inkle's own commercial development is focused on tablet games. I believe that 80 Days is still iPad exclusive. So you need to have an iOS device to play it. Yeah, only in the App Store. Notice that one of the things that Inklewriter does not do is allow you to create and sell iPad or iPhone apps through their Inklewriter. They don't want direct competition, which is reasonable enough. It's just one of those limitations of their tool, that they are allowing you to do things like they do, but they're not going to give you the full toolbox. And frankly, they probably couldn't, because a lot of this was custom for this game. Whereas the customizability of Twine is much greater. And yeah, just checking, Kelvin, make sure I saw if you posted any additional comments since the last time I checked. And while a basic Twine game is not going to look nearly this pretty, you can actually change everything about the way a Twine game presents as HTML using cascading style sheets, which is something that is actually really quite worth looking into for anyone who's interested in games writing, because CSS is pretty simple, and it's similar to the way that other markup languages work. Markup being languages that basically have a lot of just plain text in them, and then include tags to show how that text is formatted, etc. Cascading style sheets reduce the amount of work necessary to format your text in a HTML or other XML format. And if you're a games writer, in many cases, not by any means all the time, but you may be asked to insert your text directly into a XML or other markup language file, possibly while marking it up in some ways minimally without breaking the existing formatting. So that's Inkle and Inklewriter. I really think Inklewriter is fun. And oh, there's the link. And you do not want to click release unless you're sure you want to make your Inklewriter story available to the public. You also do not need a login to use Inklewriter, though it asks you to create one. If you do not use one, you can only have one Inklewriter project or story in development at a time. I will send out the link to Inklewriter, and also their Papers, Please is included in the current Humble Bundle, a Humble Indie Bundle 12 from Humble Bundle. You don't need to see my library of Humble bundle games. Let's just go. So right now, if you want Papers, Please, you can get it along with these other remarkable indie games for about $8, 10 if you want access to a game called Prison Architect, which is a both interesting and disturbing game which places you in the position of designing a prison and having to manage increasing loads of prisoners, and I believe also maintain a profit. So I'll send out links to Humble Bundle for anyone who wants to take a look at that. I believe some of you in this class received Gone Home and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, but that wasn't actually a standard part of your class package. Gone Home is truly a remarkable game. Many of the other games are as well, though Gone Home and Papers, Please are the ones that, to me, are really standout games. Of course, having seen me play Papers, Please, you may now be going, what's so remarkable about this pixelated game? If you have questions about that, why do I find that remarkable, even after having watched, please ask me. That's part of what I'm here for. But yeah, I'll send out a link to Inklewriter, Humble Bundle, and also to the page for Papers, Please, along with a link to this video archive. I'm going to bring the Google Plus window back up now. Take it out of screen share. There we go. I'm back. Let me see. Kelvin, do you have any more questions? You know what you found? Yeah. I agree that for many people who are already familiar with HTML, getting started in Twine may not be that much of a that much simpler. But it does provide a graphical environment which some people find to be hugely helpful. And I agree that understanding flowcharts and CSS are advantageous really for any kind of game design or writing. So definitely a good point, Kelvin. Let's see, and I think it's, yeah, you're still the only one watching tonight. I'll give you a chance to post any more questions if you have them, and in another minute or two, I'm going to shut this down. You know, obviously you can email me or whatever afterwards if you have questions that you don't get posted right now. So, hope everyone had a good time, or at least found something of interest in here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream now, and I'll be online for at least another couple of minutes if anyone needs to reach me. Good night, everybody.